Hey, Curious Connerys. Dylan here. We just want to give you a heads up that the following program contains conversation relating to topics that may or may not include physical and sexual assault and self-harm and mistreatment of different cultures. We are in no way condoning these things. But given that Sean Connery has acted in films going back many years, they've tended to come up. To spin a phrase from Disney, many of these films include negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures that were certainly wrong then and are definitely wrong now. But rather than not discuss this content, we'd like to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and create conversation for a richer future. Stay curious, folks. And now, on to our show.
Connery Curious! Saga! Last Crusade! You'll live twice! And the Anderson tapes! Murder on the Orient Express! You never know what the wheel's gonna spin next! Marnie and a woman of straw! And a wounded man in Africa! We are curious of the filmography of Saoirse Connery.
All right.
Hello there.
Hello there. Welcome back to an Alec Guinness podcast.
That's not a podcast I've heard in a long time. That'd be a cool
That's
podcast.
because it's not your podcast.
I'm the true Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What would we call the Alec Guinness one? We got Connery Curious and more movies, and Craig Curious, and what would Guinness? It would be Guinness.
Guineas. Gurious.
Guinness.
Alec.
Guinness filmography of records. Guinness Film Book of Records.
Drinking Guinness. That sounds a little weird.
Drinking in Guinness.
Drinking in Guinness. Sipping on Guinness.
Sipping on Guinness. Alrighty. Well, welcome to the Connery Curious podcast. Are your speakers up?
I believe no. I'm on headphones. Perhaps yours?
No. I don't know why I'm hearing. Okay. I thought I was hearing some feedback. But anyway, welcome to the Connery Curious podcast. My name is Dylan Titus.
And I'm Mario Lima.
And today we are going to be discussing... Oh, actually, wait. This is the first episode,
This is
technically.
episode 1. If you guys were listening to episode 0, hope you guys enjoyed it and that you stuck around long enough to hear episode 1. This is great.
And in episode 0, we ended that episode by spinning the Connery Curious wheel of films.
Wheel of
And we land-
Curiosities.
The Wheel of Curiosities. All right, I love it. Yes, beautiful. We're going with that. I'm gonna, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna rename that right now.
It's official.
The Wheel of Curiosities.
We also have to add a
Wheel.
Sean Connery head to the middle of the wheel.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Wheel of Curiosities. Yeah. Have you opened it?
Oh, I think I haven't seen it in a bit.
Haven't seen it. Hold on. This is riveting podcasting.
This is
I'm
exactly.
I'll just share the link with you.
Yes.
Copy link. Hold on. I can do this.
Do you think Sean Connery would have been more of a Twitter guy or a Facebook guy?
I don't think he would do any of them, frankly. I think the only I think he and Daniel Craig would not do social media. All the other Bonds would do social media. Moore wouldn't be in charge of his social media. Lazenby's would be shut down frequently. And
Yes.
reinstated because it'd be like, he's just a harmless old man. He's just making his, slightly homophobic jokes. Pierce Brosnan would be the most charming, and Timothy Dalton would just be like really entertaining and really fun to you tune into his Instagram feed, and it would just be him and cats.
Excellent. I love this wheel, by the way. This is fantastic.
Can you see the Connery head in the center?
Yeah, this is slowly.
Okay.
It's like, oh, I'm upside down again. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh, look, it seems. Oh, never mind. It seems we're going back down here.
Well, last week we spun the wheel, and and each week we will spin the wheel and get a film, and that film will be removed from the list. And last week we spun the wheel, and the film it gave us was 1975's The Man Who Would Be King, an adventure film adapted from the 1888 Rudyard Kipling novella of the same name. Directed and adapted by John Huston, I'm not sure, and starring Sean Connery, Michael Caine, Saeed Jaffrey, and Christopher Plummer as Kipling, giving a name to the novella's anonymous narrator. Now that's going by Wikipedia, and now I'm going to continue by reading the back of the box. Nope, I can't do that because there's a big sticker. Oh, wait a second. Okay. Sean Connery and Michael Caine, chins out, shoulders squared, and with a sly wink, star as British sergeants Danny Dravitt and Peachy Carnahan. The empire was built by men like these two. Now they're out to build their own empire, venturing into remote Kafiristan to become rich as kings.
Well done.
Well, thank you. It premiered November 26th, 1975, and November 26th and December 19th. Was the premiere, and then I guess it had a release a few weeks later. A budget of $8.5 million and a box office of $11 million. I'm just going by Wikipedia facts here. All right, so I really liked this movie. How about you, dude?
Same. I was like really excited about this. Like first starting it, I come in, my lovely fiance is like, "Hey, do you want to watch something?" I'm like, "I actually have some homework. I need to watch this old Sean Connery film." And she was kind of rolling her eyes because she knows the history of Bond. And I'm like, this will be different. Maybe not, but it might be different.
It was quite different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was so much fun. But yeah, I came out thoroughly enjoying it. And I need to see more Sean Connery and Michael Caine together.
Yes. I think this might be the only one they do together, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
I will say I've done a huge lack of research for this podcast because I kind of want to just be pleasantly surprised. And this movie was pleasantly surprising. For backstory, I watched this movie. I finished it about 40 minutes ago. And there was a bit of a delay in my watching it, because I had ordered it from the library. I was going to rent it digitally, probably get a nice HD copy, but I have a bad habit of taking more than a day to watch a 2-hour movie, and I know that digital rentals, you only get 24 or 48 hours to watch them. So I got it from the library, a cheap DVD copy, so cheap that it only had half the film on the disc. And I'm like, okay, maybe if I flip it over, because some discs have like a full screen version on one side and a widescreen on the other.
Yeah.
I flipped it over and it was just the back of the disc. And okay, well, I need to send this back. So if you're looking out there for a version of that, and maybe this was just the copy I had, that it wasn't reading, but the cover is Sean Connery holding his arrow and wearing a crown, and Michael Caine kind of turned sideways in his nice red British uniform and kind of just frowning at him. And it's on a Dutch angle, and it looks like a really cheap Photoshop job. If you find that one may not have a B-side to the movie, so you may not get the entire movie unless that was just my copy or my PlayStation refusing to read it. Anyway, long backstory. I finally got a copy from the library. It looks like this. It's an old painted version. It's one of those nice DVDs that clicks. I'll play the sound. I'll play the sound. I'll let you hear the sound. That nice clicking sound that you have to click it and then open the paper flap. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm giving a long description for a DVD box, but it was the same deal. The same deal of a double-sided thing where you get half the movie on one side, but thankfully, this one had the other half of the movie on the other side. And because of various work things, I finally got to watching it just now. And boy, did I have a really good time with it. When did you watch this movie?
I watched it yesterday. And before I move on, I found this alternate cover art, and it looks hilarious.
Can we share? How do we share screens? Share your screen. Boom.
Let's see. I'm gonna share. Boom, and you should be able to see this. This just looks so funny.
Yes, that one.
It
Yep.
looks like that's like the same cover as like 300.
But worse. It's just it's like a cheap Photoshop job.
Lovely, but I'm glad.
And actually,
you
hold on. Go to that one that's with the clouds behind them.
This
is again riveting for a no below it, right below it.
Oh, this.
Yep, that one.
That's even more ridiculous.
That's even worse. Yeah. But actually, no. The first one's worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, riveting stuff for an audio podcast. This is where the video podcast would come in handy. But anyway, just be on the lookout, folks. That one may or may not have a B side. So you watched it last night.
So watched it last night. Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
I did. I just really had a good time. You know, Alicia, my lovely fiance, was not interested at all. She was kind of playing her laptop games and whatnot, and just hanging
laptop
games. And
laptop games. That's my favorite.
Just kind of heard a couple lines here and there, and just kind of rolled her eyes. And I'm like, this is such a fun adventure movie. I had so much fun. I felt like a kid again watching Indiana Jones for the first time. It was
There's a lot of Indiana Jones in this film.
It is.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of the man who would be king in Indiana Jones, especially all right. We're gonna go into spoilers right off the bat, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. There's a rickety rope bridge. And that really made me think of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Let's. Do we want to? Yeah. Let's just go into spoilers right away.
I think so.
Talk about the film, and it's easier. We don't have to hold back anything. You know.
Yeah. If you guys at home want to not be spoiled, then maybe cut out now. Go rent the movie, watch it, and come back right here.
Or just hear us discuss the movie and take it in, because who knows what other ventures we may go down.
Yeah.
You know, because talking about different things in this movie may just bring up different pieces of conversation.
And maybe you don't want to make the risk of renting a half movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I would suggest for people that can sit and watch a whole movie in a sitting, just rent it digitally. It'll be better quality.
So your copy had like the first half of the movie?
No, it's an hour and 13 minutes and then 56 minutes on the other side.
Because how funny would it be if you just had the beginning of the movie and somebody else has the ending and you guys meet and you like complete the circle?
Then it would have to be 1975. You know what I mean? Like like the internet would have to not exist. I'm saying like and a lot, boy. And then we got married.
That's how I met your mother. That's how Sean Connery met his mother.
And welcome back to How I Met Your Mother. Barney Stinson is my favorite character. Ted Mosby.
Ted Mosby.
Are those the names of the characters? Is that his name?
Is that
his name? Ted Mosby? I just want to make sure I'm right on this.
Is it?
Yeah, okay, Ted Mosby. Yep.
Ted Mosley, okay. There it is.
Wait, Mosby.
Mosby?
Ted Mosby. Theodore Evelyn Mosby. Anyway.
Bert Saxby.
Bert Saxby? Tell him he's fired.
Oh, I cannot wait till the Diamonds Are Forever episode. But
that is going to be fun. You know, we should have a guest for that one.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we should have a couple of guests for that one.
I have an idea already, actually, of the guest for Diamonds Are Forever, and I need to set that.
Wives?
No, I think Andrew Lima's brother, Kyle.
Oh.
Who, like, cause he's a big fan of Bond. Like, he kind of got it. Like, he was getting into it. Like, we discuss it all the time. And his two favorites are Diamonds Are Forever and Moonraker, because of how crazy they are. And so
they're nuts.
So I think Diamonds would be perfect for him.
And honestly, Connery and Moonraker would be a not crazy fit.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, Did I just say like and right after each other?
and just
Oh,
and,
boy.
and just didn't say anything after.
It's the curse of trying to the curse of trying to fill air. Anyway, but you know what? I'm comfortable with there being dead air in this podcast.
Yeah, me too. Tell him he's fired.
All right.
Oh, man.
So, this film follows two rogue ex-soldiers, former non-commissioned officers in the British Army, who set off from late 19th century British India in search of adventure and end up in faraway Kafiristan, where one is taken for a god and made their king.
Which that was crazy of how much that escalated.
Yes,
Like-
I did not expect the god stuff. I did not see. I didn't know where this film was going at all.
Me either.
I watched the trailer that you sent me, and then it kind of just vanished from my brain after we discussed it.
Yeah.
And this movie is going to stick with me in some weird ways. They play polo with heads, with severed heads in bags.
Dude, and can we talk? can we talk about Sean Connery's dead head as the last frame?
The last
of the
shot
movie?
in the movie. Wow, that is bold.
Do you think that Peachy kicked his head like a soccer ball the whole walk to the house?
Well, considering his hands were injured, yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
so you're just kicking Sean Connery's head around. And the crowd stayed on. I want that as a prop. I want that prop of the head.
that'd be a great prop.
Sean
Well, we
Connery.
used a real head on the set. They used a real severed head. The shit you saw in this movie was crazy, and we just took souvenirs.
Souvenirs.
I got to stop with this early on. So, okay, this movie is visually amazing.
Right?
There are so many people in this film. Not names, I mean, just people. There are so many people in this film. It is nuts. One of my notes is, I just made short notes, it says line crowd. But the overhead shot where they are leading the troops of the tribes and the tribes through the desert, and it keeps panning out and panning out and panning out, and it is thousands of people. Thousands, maybe tens of thousands. It's nuts.
What was the budget for this again?
8.5 million.
8.5.
Though I can imagine a lot of these people weren't paid. But also 8.5 million. Let's see, let's do the inflator. Fill air while I...
Let's see.
Tell me more about what you liked about this film.
So yeah, I just think again, what a pairing of the both of them together was just fantastic, and again, it's like the way it escalated was crazy. I think the action was good. It makes me wonder what would have been like if Connery stayed Bond around these years. Like then you had him be the older Bond.
Yes, honestly, I would have really liked to see him as Bond in these years. Because he looks way better than he looked in Diamonds Are Forever. And forgive me, folks, that we keep tying this back to Bond, but it's our main reference point. Like, when you play guitar, you always come back to Guns N' Roses. When I play guitar, I always come back to Metallica,
Right.
that unholy tour. And it's in this podcast, we're always just going to come back to Connery. Also, inflated for today's budget, that would be $48.6 million.
Okay.
That would be the budget of that film today. He looked much better than he looked in Diamonds Are Forever 4 years earlier. Also, on that note, in Diamonds Are Forever, we almost see his peen, kind of. There's a shot where it's zoomed out a bit and then it zooms in, and just for a brief second, you're like, are we about to? He's very naked. And we don't see anything. But in this movie, we get Connery butt, and he is in shape. Man.
Right.
He's in shape. And in Diamonds Are Forever, he is not really that. He's, like, not out of shape, but also just not Bond shape. You know what I mean?
think
But in
I
this
think
movie, he looks great in this film.
well, I think this shows that like how much makeup he had. They had to darken his hair because I always thought his eyebrows looked way too dark in that movie. I'm kind of like, this makes sense now. They just kind of like, if they had let him show up like more natural, I think it would have worked out great.
Well, I wonder. I don't know much about the. There was no behind the scenes. So there was no other supplemental material on this disc. I would love to know why, or there must be a biography out there that would detail why he looks so good around this period, and maybe it was just the unhappiness of coming back to Diamonds Are Forever, because they gave him the biggest paycheck of any actor to date, and he donated it to charity out of spite. Kind of, not really. That is a summation of a story, but anyway. Not to keep tying it back to Bond, but yeah, he and Michael Caine were great together.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just like like you said, maybe we're just happier to like move on, and I feel like because when we watch these films, we always like rate the toupee, like we know exactly when he had a toupee and when he didn't. So I wonder if like that was kind of like a identity thing where it's like I feel like I'm not being myself. I'm not.
Yeah,
everything's like
his hair looked great in this.
Yeah, I'm like I wouldn't mind if Bond went a little bald. I'm like, who cares? He looks like a badass. I mean,
I think he had a toupee in this.
In this movie, you think?
Maybe.
No, it was like he was buzzed, and you could see the receding hairline.
Let me pull it up.
Which looked just like my head, so it made me wonder, like maybe I should let mine go, like Connery, and just get a Lemmy mustache. He looked like Lemmy in this movie, which was great.
He did look like Lemmy. I loved his hair. So let me see. Oh yeah, he's not wearing a wig.
Yeah,
No, he's letting that thing. Yep. I'm sorry. I think I was just letting the character moments get to me, and I wasn't looking at it. Yes, forgive me. He is not wearing a wig at all in this. Not wearing a toupee at all in this. He looks fantastic.
Yeah, so I feel like this was like his first like, hey, this is me, and let me have my moment. Like I'm not gonna be typecast to Bond. I could do anything. So I think that's what makes Connery so good, because like he did, kind of overcome that, because unfortunately you think Roger Moore, you mainly think of people think the Saint, but most people think of Bond.
Yeah.
Pierce, he's going to be tied to Bond, but people also know him from Mamma Mia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Connery,
he's gone on to do things more.
Yeah, he was just in Black Adam. He could.
Yeah, and also on that note, we look at Bond and we can analyze all that stuff because we've seen it a bunch. This film tying it back to the toupee thing. This film drew me in so much, and I was really invested in the characters. I didn't even notice Connery didn't have a toupee. I wasn't caring. I was just soaking in the characters. I really enjoyed the rapport between he and Michael Caine, who were great friends in real life, apparently. And apparently Michael Caine said, you did not want to talk to Connery about Bond. He did not want to talk about it. It was work, and they didn't pay him well, and he didn't like it.
Wow.
So you didn't talk to him about it, And I think, to speak to the depth of their friendship together, both Connery and Caine have considered the movie their favorite of all they had worked on. That, again, Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt, but I believe that because, boy, they look happy working together.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they looked like they were having the time of their life. Like, just so much fun. Like, I love the
lighting of the cigarette that you sent me.
Like, that
so
was
much
like,
joy.
Yeah, that's like my new favorite way to like greet you now. I feel.
Let's do that.
That's our new thing.
Light each other's cigarettes.
Yeah,
or joints. Excuse me.
Joints, yes. But you could just tell there was no phoning in whatsoever. Like, they were just having the time of their life, and like had that campiness in there, but also like that serious tone of like kind of like
they've been through some stuff.
They had a power struggle and stuff like that, and you could see like that scene of them having that fight at the end where it's like like the big falling out
where Caine is getting ready to leave.
Yeah, he's getting ready to leave and like saying like before he like says, "Oh, I think you're half of the gold, whatever," and all that, and like Connery's totally lost his mind. He's like like look at me, I'm a god or whatever he said. Like
They could have left right then and there.
yeah,
They could have left
he
right
was
then and there.
he was power hungry, and then look what happened. We had that
He
tense
was in
scene.
love.
Yeah, and so like
Now,
that was like
he
deep.
was in love with Shakira Caine, a Guyanese former actor and fashion model married to Michael Caine.
Mm,
Yeah. They got married in 1973.
no way.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I just thought that was really interesting.
Oh sure.
Which also, that is a nice little aspect of that in the plot is Caine, Peachy Carnahan keeps saying to Daniel Dravid, come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. Don't get married. Come on, let's go. Which is funny because he is telling his friend, no, you're not marrying my wife on screen. I will not have it. All right, if you're gonna, I won't be there for it.
You ain't gonna marry my wife, and you should have blew the bloody nose off. I can't really do it. That's the only Michael Caine
You
impression.
do it better than I do. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Master Wayne.
Who was that?
Just no. That was my attempt at Michael Caine as Alfred, but apparently that was. I don't even know who that was.
Well, Billy Fish is my favorite character in this film.
Oh yeah.
Billy Fish is their translator and confidant, and he is played by Saeed Jaffrey, and he was delightful.
He was.
He was so much fun. Though I will say one of the hindrances of this film is all the translation scenes. They're not used for anything clever. There's no like tricks done with the translation. Nothing is mistranslated. So the constant scenes of lines just being translated to different people got a little tedious, except for the one moment where Connery is full on God mode, and he is like, I will have this woman brought to the village, and it shall be this, and then he gets up and walks over to the wall as Billy Fish is translating, and he just kind of gives a little stretch and leans against the wall. He's like, yeah. He's just relaxing, and it's gone to his head. And that was the one moment of translation that I really enjoyed. And that's not to knock the translation. I think it could have just been done a little bit smoother.
Sure.
That being said, this was a beautiful film, and I loved looking at it every moment.
Oh yeah, it was just like just the use of like you could tell it was some nice stock footage of like different locations and stuff, but it really like melded well with the footage and just was it was stunning. Like I like really like going into this again. I like like you, I just saw the trailer. Thought okay, this looks like a fun time. Let's go for it, and it just nothing as I didn't expect any of this. I didn't expect like the magnitude of everything going on. I thought it was going to be a simple movie, like if it was
fun romp.
Yeah, it was 2 hours, but like I could have went for 2 more hours. I was so engaged, and I wanted to see like another one, with them. It was insane.
I was actually kind of happy when it was over. Not that I couldn't watch more of these characters, because I could watch Caine, Connery, and especially Christopher Plummer act all day. We'll talk more about him. But I thought The Man Who Would Be King. I knew it was based on Rudyard Kipling, but I've never read it, and I kind of just thought it was a whimsical title. Like, he'd be king of his own castle in that way, like king of his own domain, the man who came to find his own peace in the world through a whimsical adventure. I did not think it would be a full-on like we have been through violent battle, and we're gonna go commit some more violent battle to take over the land. And yeah, he becomes a king of sorts, and that I was happy with the actual scale of it. I did not anticipate the scale. Going back to that line of 1,000, 10,000 people, however many people are in that shot. That's a big difference between 10,000. But you know what I mean. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm hogging this conversation. I just
No.
really enjoyed it, and it's just fresh in my brain from time. If you want, I can get into the notes I took. Did you take any notes?
I took a few, but like, yeah, kind of hitting on that point of like, yeah, it was so enjoyable. Like, would you watch it again?
Yes, 100%.
Like, it seems.
How about you?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I rented it, but like, I kind of want a copy in my library of just like, I really like. I hope to do that with a lot of these films that we cover, but like, uh, but yeah, it's like real like it's real education here. Like, just this was like what I was hoping this podcast would be. I was like, I'm gonna open my eyes to, like, Beyond Bond. That would have been a good title for the podcast too, Beyond Bond.
I feel like that that must exist.
I'm sure it does.
And then again, when we call it that, we're focusing on Bond.
True.
You know what I mean? I think we want to. That's the point of this podcast. Is we're curious about what is beyond Bond. We're Connery curious.
Connery
And
curious.
I think if we focus on the man itself, if we go beyond Bond, then we're just getting into James Bond territory, and there's 100 James Bond podcasts out there, you know?
Yeah, but I am just it's interested. Again, this movie's a prime example of that, where it's like the difference between outside of Bond and inside of it, where it's
Yes,
like
an actor enjoying his work and an actor not enjoying his work.
Yeah, so it's like it's so good
They're
to
enjoying
see
their
that.
work.
Yeah, it's like, man, it's like being a Bond fan. Again, I'm bringing it back to Bond. You think
always.
you think
It's okay.
Yeah, but you feel attached to this character, and like like, oh man, like, yeah, I know Connery back and forth. I saw all of his Bond movies. I know Pierce Brosnan. I know Roger Moore. But then you see this, and I'm like, wow, I don't know shit about fucking Sean Connery. Like, this was like,
Well, I'll teach you about fucking Sean Connery. Get down, sweetheart.
It's Felix. Say goodbye to Dink. Dink, say goodbye to Felix. Ah, yes, Mad Dog.
Dink, say hello to Felix. He'll be joining us.
Now say goodbye to Felix. Then hello again, and then say goodbye to Felix.
And hello to me. And hello to Felix. And hello to me. And hello to Felix.
Felix, say hello to me. I'll say hello to Felix.
Felix, this is Q. Q, this is Felix.
Felix, this is M.
And Moneypenny finally.
Anyway, alrighty. This is the MI6 Christmas party.
Yeah.
Also, I lost the Connery pretty quickly there.
We're playing telephone, yes.
Sure.
But yeah, so like, I feel like you're really seeing who the man is, and I'm excited to see when he gets older, when he this is kind of seeing this movie makes the casting in Indiana Jones make way more sense.
Yes.
I feel like this movie was like the peak of his resume at the time. He's like, yeah, holy shit, we saw that fucking movie. We saw the man who would be king, and we're like, Bond could do anything. He can be really interesting. So I feel like this is one of the films that really cemented him into the legend he was.
Yes, this again, reading from Wikipedia, but it looks like it's considered to be Huston's best work since The African Queen 23 years earlier. It looks like it has pretty much universal acclaim. And it deserves it. So should we go beat by beat through this thing?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we start. Go ahead.
I'll say, yeah, it's fresher in your mind today, so like
Yeah.
I'll let you lead the way here.
Well, I'm also going to use the Wikipedia a little bit
Hmm.
through this, and I'm going to go through my notes. Also, I'm gonna. You know what? We'll make little sections as we go. All right. So we start in India in 1885, where Rudyard Kipling is working at his newspaper office, the Northern Star, and a crazy, burned, ragged man shows up, and it's Peachy Carnahan, played by Michael Caine, and he begins to tell the story of what happened since the last time they ran into each other. And we cut back to 3 years before, and they meet our two leads, Dravet and Carnahan, Connery and Caine, respectively. They meet Rudyard Kipling in an interesting way at a train station. Caine robs him.
He pickpockets him.
Were you kind of confused about this?
I had to go back and rewatch it, which is like, okay, I'm gonna have to add some time to. Sorry, Mario, we're gonna have to do 6:30 because I had to rewind a few times to catch things. As they were stamping the books. Okay, so there's a shot where Kipling, played by Christopher Plummer, who by far, actually, I love Connery and I love Michael Caine, but I gotta say Christopher Plummer may have been my favorite actor in this film.
He was great.
He was perfect in this film. So there's a shot where he goes up to a ticket counter and Caine ever so subtly sneaks behind him, but doesn't sneak. He just walks behind him, just like super confidently and just pickpockets him. And we see it from behind the ticket counter. We see the woman stamping the book and Plummer pulls out his wallet and Caine's hand goes into his pocket and pulls out the locket and the necklace. And it's real subtle. And while the exact shot in which that happened, I was cleaning my glasses. So I was thoroughly confused for the next 5 minutes and had to rewind it. So Caine picks, Carnahan picks Kipling's pocket and takes his locket and a necklace. And upon seeing that the necklace is a Freemason's necklace, and he realizing he had robbed his fellow Freemason, which tying in, I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts about cults, and they recently brought up the Freemasons. And I'm like, I need to learn about the Freemasons now. And then this happens. So anyway, so he runs back and tries to locate him on the train and strategically return the locket to him. And it's really funny. And it involves throwing a gross man eating a watermelon off a train.
The guy eating the watermelon
That
was
was
the
great.
funniest thing.
Watermelon man, I wrote in my notes.
Watermelon man.
Oh, so good. He's just spitting them on the floor. Oh,
Offering
so
a
good.
piece to Caine.
And just the balls of like, I'm just gonna hack open this watermelon on this old train seat, which is surely made of like cotton.
They should splice the scene of of Red Grant and Bond and From Russia with Love during when they're like he's interrogating him and he finally
And the
turns heel.
watermelon man.
Watermelon man is in the next cart. You hear him eating.
No, he's in the same cart.
He's in the same car. So I got you, old man, and it's like
And then you hear the spit, and then it cuts over.
That's it.
It's like I'll find a way to like cut it so their heads turn and look over at him. That'll be good.
He's eating the watermelon. Yeah, he's my favorite watermelon man.
Though you brought that up, the train thing. We do have a Bond connection here. Bond in an avalanche. Connery is in an avalanche in this film. Pierce Brosnan is in an avalanche, as is George Lazenby. Duh, I just watched Majesties last night. I didn't actually watch it. It was just on. My sister came over and she was hanging out with Nicole, and they were coloring and they wanted to put something on, and I'm like, it's Christmas, let's put on Majesties.
Yes, very good.
So anyway, it always comes back to Bond. Anyway, so he realizes he's robbed his fellow Mason and finds a strategic way of returning the locket. We got there. And upon, figuring things out and establishing they are both Freemasons, Peachy says to Kipling, pass along a message to Danny Dravitt. Excuse me, I'm still remembering these names. And it's a very humorous way that we meet these characters. I very much enjoyed it. And I like how they're on a revenge plot. And Kipling basically calls in his manager and has them arrested. And this movie takes big time jumps.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? And it doesn't help that Kipling is always wearing the same outfit.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just the next day or something, but it's months later.
yeah, I would look down. And I was like, wait, where are we right now? And yeah, just like I think I had to rewind a couple of times myself to kind of get that. Like, you really need to, like, viewers at home, if you guys are gonna watch this film, make sure you're staying focused. Put your phone
Yes.
away. Like, you need to see every detail of this film, because you blink and you will miss something.
Yes, I had my phone pretty much on mute.
Mm.
I set it so that only your text could come in. Essentially, you and Nicole. Anyway, so I'm going to kind of take it from Wikipedia here because they summarize it well. Frustrated at the lack of opportunities for lucrative criminal mischief in an India becoming more civilized and regulated, partly through their own hard efforts as soldiers, and with little to look forward to in the United Kingdom except dreary, poorly paid jobs, the two turn up at Kipling's office with an audacious plan. Forsaking India, they will head with 20 rifles and ammunition to Kafiristan. Yep, a country virtually unknown to Europeans since its conquest by Alexander the Great. There, they will offer their services to a ruler and then help him to conquer his neighbors, but proceed to overthrow him and loot the country. Kipling, after first trying to dissuade them, gives Dravet his Masonic tag as a token of brotherhood, and they sign a contract pledging mutual loyalty and forswearing women and drink, and set off on an epic overland journey north beyond the Khyber Pass. That's I just read a good chunk of that, but that's the setup for our adventure.
Yeah.
They're ne'er-do-wells, and they're like, we're gonna go be kings somewhere. We're just gonna overthrow this wild country with no law. And
Can we talk about that entrance? Just like, I know we got it. Like, that was one of the highlights of the trailer for me, is them with the wacky turnaround in the hats.
oh, phenomenal!
And just what
phenomenal.
a great scene. And like right there was like they're letting us know, buckle in, we're gonna have a fun time. And
they're also letting us know that we're soldiers. We're not currently soldiers, but we like the conventions of being a soldier, and we're having fun with it, and we're also showing off our power, that we can do such things like this. And if we can hold like such a regimented entrance that is so tightly coordinated, we could probably kick your ass if you stand in our way.
Ooh, and they kick ass in this film for sure.
Yes, they do some killing.
Absolutely.
So, go ahead.
No, you.
So in the context of taking over this country, they they go into one town, and let's go through some of these things that I like. As they're on their way to the country, Kafiristan, they come across a big gorge, of which or a crevasse through which they cannot pass. Excuse me, it took me a bit. Luckily, it later gets filled in by an avalanche. However, Michael Caine looks down at it and says one of my favorite quotes. I've listed some of my favorite quotes. Or you know what? I feel like we should do that as a segment in and of itself.
Sure. Who said it?
Who said it?
Who said it?
Our favorite quotes from. You know what? I like that. Who said it?
Who said it?
And we can make this a segment in later films. So maybe in your notes, write down your favorite quotes. In your notes, write the quotes.
Ooh, bars.
Caine looks down and says, "Straight as a beggar can spit." And then these next two, my favorite quotes, are both Connery's. "Off your hunkers," when he's telling people to get up. "Off your hunkers." And then he says it twice, and then Caine says it the third time. "God's holy trousers."
That was their sweet Christmas. If you're talking about Luke Cage, like,
yes,
just I think I said about 5 times this morning.
God's holy trousers.
God's holy trousers.
That's better than Great Scott. That's better than.
It really is.
So as they enter the first town, they convince. Oh, actually, the first thing they do is they fight off a group of bandits that are attacking some people by a river, and shoot them from a distance and such, snipe them off. And when they enter the town, they're kind of viewed as heroes to some extent, and they convince the mayor of sorts, Utah, like, all right, join up with us, we'll take over the next town and such.
I don't know why, but this scene like reminded me of like that first episode of Book of Boba Fett when like Boba Fett was with the Tusken Raiders.
Yes,
and I was
very
kind
much
of like,
come in and
I was like, this has like Star Wars kind of quality. Even like New Hope, it has kind of had like that kind of.
Well, this was 2 years before Star Wars, so must have been influencing Mr. Lucas in some way.
That, man.
He had to have been watching films, you know?
Dude, Michael Caine and Connery. What if they were in the original Star Wars? That would have been interesting.
I'm taking an awful risk, Vader. It's a better work.
That was good. That was a really good one. That was a good Caine.
I sense something, a presence I have not felt since.
Your father was a gallant warrior and a good
Commander, tear this ship apart until you found those plans, and bring me the passengers. I want them alive. Who else would he be?
He could be,
he's tall. He's massive. Connery is massive in this movie.
Yeah.
You really see his size, especially in the scene in the town square before they leave, and they're playing a priest and his crazy servant, and Connery is the crazy servant.
Yeah.
He is huge.
Yeah.
And that is a real funny scene, actually. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, he could be. He probably was not into the space thing. That's why we turned him off. But
if we go to our list, we've got a number of space movies here. We've got Outland.
That's right.
We've got Zardoz. We've got Meteor. We've got. I'm guessing the Highlander films are probably some aspect of that. I've seen clips of it, and it looks sci-fi.
So I'm assuming all these that you're listing over post 77.
Yes.
So maybe Star Wars happened. He's like, well, shit. Maybe I should have went on a Star Destroyer.
Well, what is Time Lock? A British thriller film of a 6-year-old boy who was accidentally locked in a bank vault. Okay, that's not sci-fi. But that actually sounds really good. With less than 10 hours of oxygen left in the vault, it becomes a race to save the boy. Ooh. That sounds really good.
That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a fun podcast.
This is so much fun.
So they convince the town, all right, let's go over to the next town, we'll take it over. And during the course of that battle, Connery takes an arrow to the chest. But he survives and fights his way through. Turns out the arrow was just stuck in his bandolier, but they really drive home that this film is a little racist. They really drive home that the locals are all kind of dumb. They're all very ignorant. There's no education there, which, I mean, it's not unheard of. They would have, it's 1882 it's supposed to be taking place in. So, or, well, after the travel time, so maybe 1883. And I can imagine there wouldn't be education in a lot of areas, coupled with religious beliefs holding things back in some areas. Anyway, but they believe that he is the reincarnation or the son of Alexander the Great. And he is a god. And where are we here? What anything you'd like to add as we move along here?
No, but like this is like when it started to get to this, I'm like, man, I don't think I knew where the movie was going from here. I was kind of like, wow, this is where I really got like more attentive to it. I was like leaning forward. I'm like, what's, because again, harping back to Star Wars, it reminds me of like C-3PO with the Ewoks.
Right.
It's just like, it's like Master Luke, they think I'm their
Right?
god. You know, it's like
All I needed was Michael Caine using the Force to lift him up.
It's like, oi, 3PO, tell them, let us go, or you'll use your.
Actually, he would be 3PO.
Yeah, he would be good 3PO.
I've something written down here. A moment I liked is they pass a British soldier that they recognize as somebody that had fucked them over earlier.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't see it, but it's some past adventure. The guy had screwed them over. So Connery, under his breath, starts shouting commands. It's like, all right, faster. Just jog in place, faster. And they come out like, oh, he's drunk again. Throw him under arrest. That was a delightful little laugh moment.
Yeah.
Which leads to another note of mine. Jolly battles. Man, there's so much happy music in these battle scenes.
Yeah, right. It's like, it reminded me of like Robin Hood. Or
People
like,
are dying left and right, and the music is happy as can be.
what year is Princess Bride?
88?
88.
Hold on. Princess 87.
87. Yeah, well, I think it reminded me
Which
of that a little bit.
Which I only just saw for the first time recently.
Princess Bride, really?
Yep, I had never seen it before, and Nicole and I watched it recently, and boy, that was a good time.
I mean, off topic, but did you enjoy it?
I loved it. It was great.
Oh man,
It's delightful, absolutely delightful.
I'm glad you liked it. Wow.
And I loved the flat, brightly lit cinematography.
Yeah.
Everything is so flat in that movie, but it's great. Yeah, delightful time. And actually, yeah, this had a lot of energy of that. Not as funny, not as lighthearted, but this got dark. This got pretty dark.
Yeah,
And I guess that gets pretty dark. Princess Bride gets pretty dark too. Like, the main character dies 2/3 of the way through.
yeah. Spoilers for Princess Bride if you haven't heard it.
Sorry, spoilers for Princess Bride. Don't worry, it turns out okay. I promise it turns out okay. During the River Raiders sequence, when they're sniping off raiders, when the raiders first show up to the river, the people are shouting in their language, and it sounds like the kids in the river are saying "father." So that scene confused me as to whether or not it was soldiers returning home or warring tribes, and it was the latter. I've got another note with Billy Fish, and then it's just got a heart next to it because he was my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah, he was good. He was super memorable. Like, he was a lot of fun.
Billy Fish did not need to die the way he died.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'll run into this crowd of like 700, just me, and I'll swing this little knife.
It was the ultimate sacrifice. It was just like,
no, it was just it was the ultimate silly sacrifice.
I don't know, man. I feel like that was his I Am Iron Man. Like, that was just... Except
none of the soldiers disappeared.
Yeah. Only he disappears.
I'd be like, yeah. Tony's wearing the glove. He's like, I am Iron Man. He snaps his fingers and then he disappears.
Oh, where'd he go? Or he doesn't finish the thought. He's like, I am. He's like, oh.
And then he just cuts. He's in the bathroom.
It was all a dream.
Or he's at like his favorite restaurant. He's like, no, that's not. I shouldn't have been thinking about what I wanted for my last meal. All right, hold on.
Oh no, I should have been
Fly
thinking about
back
that
there.
time I farted in science class in 3rd grade.
Now I'm back in 3rd grade.
No.
Damn you, Time Stone. Oh, another good line I really liked here. Not gods, we're Englishmen. The next best thing.
Yes. Very pro England in this film.
Oh, and another one. Benighted mockers. That's another one from Connery. There was in their contract they say that they are not going to drink or sleep with women until they become kings. And there's a moment where Michael Caine is sleeping. And
this scene was so awkward.
Yes, I also put that this movie is so racist at the sleeping girl scene. or the sleeping Michael Caine scene. Michael Caine is sleeping, and these girls are playing with his clothes and his hair and whatnot. And he wakes up to it, and another girl walks in, and she begins. I'm just gonna say what I wrote down. Wafting her pussy smell at him. Because that's what she's doing. She's lifting her dress and then using it not to tease him because he's like half asleep still, but she's like using it to fan the aura of her vagina towards Michael Caine to wake him.
The only thing that would have made this scene better is if they had like the sort of wafting scent like in a Looney Tunes cartoon, and it hit Michael Caine's nose and he floated up in the air and floated towards it.
Or he's sleeping and his nose goes, the nose lifts, the nostril lifts up, and then like his eyelid, the ear comes up and his eye comes up, and he like the nostril lifts him up. And then he he's arched where his belly's out, and he like floats through the air fluttering towards a pie.
He is going towards a pie of sorts, I suppose. Oh.
So yeah, wafting her pussy smell at him. We'll make that as a shirt.
Wafting pussy scent. So I do fragrance.
Anyway, and there's also mooning soldiers. The soldiers moon each other, or at least there's one shot of a soldier mooning the others. I really like the holy men, how everyone shuts up and just bows when the holy men come by.
Yeah.
And war doesn't happen. What else? What are some things you liked about this film?
Let's see. So yeah, it's, just some of the goofiness, man, that comes through it, and I'm trying to think, like, so where are we at this point? We're still in the camp.
Let's see.
Because I love that scene of them just go on.
He's been shot. I think we're there. He's been shot, and everyone thinks he's Alexander the Great reincarnated because he survived.
Yeah, so right there, that's
where we're
at. So yeah, it's hilarious. But like,
though we are jumping all around.
Yeah, so yeah, we could jump all around we want. But like, yeah, just the scene of the monks or whatever you call them, like show up to like, tell them, hey, we want to go with you. It's like, but yes, we gotta bring our army with us. Like, no, just you guys. And it's like, oh yeah, sure, that's fine. And Sean Connery's like, no, we're not gonna go with these guys. Like, what if they like shank us or something? And then you get there and they actually do stuff.
They try to kill him.
They jump him and try to shake him. I don't know.
And he gets there. Also, I'm wondering how, if they're not looking, how do they lead them there? If the monks aren't looking, how do they lead? How do they know where they're going? Like, damn it, we've been wandering for 3 years. Where are we? And when they get there, Sean Connery walks up the stairs. He's like, all right, I'm here. What do you want?
The monk showed up. It's like, oh yes, we could smell the wafting pushy in the air. So we just like, that's what she was doing. She was calling the monks to come and pick up.
Exactly. Well, they should have just had, instead of the little boy at the front of the line, it should have been her, like wafting it forward. Except she's walking backwards and wafting the scent forward, so it's like carrot and stick, because they're not looking. They have to use the scent.
Yeah,
I liked when they were snowblind and Caine had to lead the way, Connery was snowblind and Michael Caine was leading the way, and Connery was holding the tail of the mule.
Yeah, which
that was a really good sequence when they get the mules.
Yeah,
they see. Okay, how do we separate they crossed the river. They had to give up their horse. They had to sell their horses to buy goat skins to inflate to get their stuff across the river. When they finally get across the river, 5 Afghans on 3 mules come up and immediately start just messing with them. So when they're approaching, Caine gets the brilliant idea. All right, they're going to start messing with us, and we're not going to be able to fight them very easily, and we got to take their mules. So he puts a bullet in his mouth, and then he begins eating something with seeds and spitting the seeds into the fire, and he offers it to them, and they just start messing with them and trying to take their stuff, and so Caine spits the bullet into the fire as a distraction, and they use it to just kick some ass and kill some dudes.
It was really like a Bond moment, bringing it back to
It was
Bond.
a very Bond
It was
moment
just-
from Michael Caine.
Yeah, because like when I first saw it, I didn't know it was a bullet, and I was kind of like, I thought for some reason it was like a blow dart or something, like just
Yes,
kinda
I
like,
thought it was something going to be like
and
that.
like
Yeah.
because that would have been cool too. Like you have him spit the seeds, and he spits a blow dart at somebody. That'd be kind of cool too. But like when I saw the
though
shell,
less believable.
yeah, but like when I saw him like spit the shell, I'm like that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
great, and like what a moment, and like just like
A blow dart would have been very Diamonds Are Forever, but this bullet into the fire moment was very Casino Royale.
yeah, super fun.
Yes, that was one of my favorite moments of the film.
Yeah, because then like that makes sense with Caine too. Because like then like I think a few years later he does Italian Job. You know,
Yes, I've never seen that film.
Like that's on my list because like I've been wanting to see it. Caine Curious, we'll do Caine Curious.
We could do that.
But
oh my God, Connery Curious, Caine.
cocaine. Perfect.
One of the DVD library book sale purchases I got was a 3-pack of films, which was The Score, Primal Fear, and the 2003 Italian Job, which I believe is a sequel to that first one and not a remake.
Really? How's no? I
think
thought it was.
Caine shows up in it. Hold on.
Does
I'll
Mel
tell you.
Caine show up in that one?
I'm not sure. I've never seen it.
I've seen it, but I saw it years ago.
Despite the shared title, the plot and characters of this film different from those of the source material, an homage to the original. Never mind. Huh.
Like I thought that I think Jason Statham was supposed to be Michael Caine's character. Because that's where the classic quote, like "You're always supposed to blow the bloody doors off," was from Italian Job.
Yeah, no, he's not in it. Never mind. Huh. Anyway, well, either way, I definitely would like to watch the Michael Caine one.
Absolutely.
All right, so where are we? So they think that he is a god, and they give him access to the huge tomb of gold and riches. And they think he's a god because they see the Masonic necklace on him given to him by Christopher Plummer, which is another moment I love. Connery's eyes in this film, his facial acting, he's so happy in this film, and that shot when Plummer puts the little medal in his hand, it pulls out and goes up to Connery's face, and he just gives this like wild-eyed smile, like he's like happy, he's so excited to go on this adventure. Yeah. And especially when he's dancing in the town square, just having a great time. And Connery sings in this movie.
Yes, I was like
multiple times.
I was gonna bring that up. Like,
3 times.
that bridge scene is just like so. That was
That's the most solemn one.
Yeah.
And there's 3 moments. He sings at the beginning for fun. Then he sings in the middle when they're going up the mountain. And Caine's like, "Shut up, you're going to cause an avalanche." And he's like, "Well, what good is being a king if I can't sing?" And then the 3rd time, it's really solemn. So it's kind of an evolution.
Yeah.
Really good filmmaking.
Oh, yeah, honestly. Shit, what was I going to get to? But yeah, him like finally getting the robes on and the whole thing with the treasure. Like, I love that.
You see his butt. We see his butt.
Oh yeah, we see the butt, and I was kind of like, oh, did not notice where this film was going. So that's.
And he looks great. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm saying he looks built. Like we talked about Jason Statham. He's kind of like had that kind of build to him. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
He's
fit in this movie.
Yeah, I think he was like, I don't know if he was not a boxer, but I think he was like some kind of athlete of some kind. Connery back in the day.
Well, let's look it up just to be sure. Early career. Bodybuilder. He was a bodybuilder.
So okay, there you go.
And a keen footballer.
And there you go. So look at that. So yeah, Scotsman, of course. Um,
Connery, while his official website states he was third in the 1950 Mr. Universe contest, most sources place him in the 1953 competition, either third in the junior class or failing to place in the tall man classification. Connery said he was soon deterred from bodybuilding when he found that Americans frequently beat him in competitions because of sheer muscle size, and unlike Connery, refused to participate in athletic activity which could make them lose muscle mass.
look at that.
He offered Connery a contract worth 25 pounds a week to be a footballer. Connery said he was tempted to accept, but he recalls, I realized that a top-class footballer could be over the hill by the age of 30, and I was already 23. I decided to become an actor, and it turned out to be one of my more intelligent moves.
Absolutely. Wow, interesting.
Yes. And this film, as I said before, is massive. The scale of it is huge, and it's all real locations, except for the a lot of the winter mountain shots that I could see some matte shots where like they were, it was an effect. But for the most part, it's all real locations. So I can imagine it was probably very physically demanding on these actors and on the crew. So Connery probably stayed in good shape this whole time.
Yeah.
Just out of force, nature forcing you to.
Yeah, again, like, yeah, he looks like, at first I was like, this might be a body double, but no, it was actually him. So like, I thought that was insane, which again brings me back to holy shit, if he just played Bond for a few more years, this would have been so cool to see.
Right, and by the time Never Say Never comes around in '83, it's been so long.
Oh yeah, because you gotta think about, how old was he in Man Who Would Be King versus how old
So
Moore was.
75, so he would have been 45 in The Man Who Would Be King.
Wow.
So,
jeez. Oh my god, that's like.
and then Roger Moore would have been in 75. Would have been. Wow, he was born in 1927. So he was 3 years older than Connery. Wow.
Wow.
So he would have been 48.
That's insane.
Right? And they were friends.
Yeah, thank goodness.
So what else we got? Okay, so
They were the treasure part.
yes, and he's got the whole town convinced, and they just have to wait out a storm before the pass will be safe enough to travel again to get all this treasure out. They say, it's all your treasure, you can take it, do whatever you want with it. But they have to wait 4 months. And in that 4 months, power starts going to Connery's head. He's a fair ruler, and I like that scene of him making decisions for the town. Like the farmer comes out, and he's like, I lost all my grain to a fire. Do I have permission to rob somebody else's grain? And he's like, no, we're going to set up an insurance system. And that was really good. But then immediately after, he's like, so, Peachy, you should bow to me in public to keep up appearances. And he immediately starts being an asshole.
Yeah.
Not immediately, but over time, over the 4 months. And by the end of it, Peachy comes and says, we should probably get out of here because the pass is open again. The weather's nice. We should take our stuff. We should get out of here. And Connery says, nope, I'm staying, and I'm getting married to that girl I met named Roxanne. You don't have to put up a red light. So, and they learn in the encyclopedia that Alexander the Great was married to a girl named Roxanne. And they meet a girl named Roxanne, and he is struck by her beauty. And she is played by Shakira Caine. Shakira Caine, who is Michael Caine's real-life wife. And she's gorgeous. And
so they were married?
During this movie, yeah.
Okay, wow.
They got married in 1973.
Wow.
So...
hell of a honeymoon.
No. We gave her a nice honeymoon.
Oh, that took a lot of wind out of you, didn't it?
Yes, I needed some water.
There you go.
So Caine says, we got to get out of here. Connery says, nope, I'm staying. I can do some real good here. And one day I'm going to do such good here. I'm going to do such a good job uniting this country that one day the Queen of England is going to be like, you did such a great job, and pin a medal on me herself. And basically I could show up as her equal and go, ha, I did it. That's my Sean Connery. And Caine's like, nah, we should probably just go because they'll figure us out eventually. And we got pretty lucky, so we should probably just take this gold and skedaddle. Also, I like the scene where Connery's like, look at the size of this ruby. And Caine's like, nah, look at this one.
It's like 10 times bigger. And then the watermelon guy comes out with an even bigger one. Look at this one, sir.
And it's a green, it's a sapphire, and he's trying to eat it. He's like using his knife trying to open the thing.
Cracked his teeth on it.
And he does open it, and it's green, and it's red on the inside.
It's a watermelon ruby.
Ruby with a sapphire skin. Anyway, so Connery says, nope, I'm staying. I'm going to do good. And eventually the Queen is going to suck my dick because she's going to be so jealous about everything that I've done here. I'll show the Queen of England. But also, I want to marry that beautiful girl named Roxanne. Okay, this was the weirdest part. This is definitely the weirdest part. So, not this, but the wedding itself. So, because he says he wants to marry a mortal woman, everyone freaks out. All the priests freak out and say a mortal cannot marry a god, cannot even be touched by a god, that she's basically going to burst into flame and die. He is struck by the beauty of a girl called Roxanne, the name of Alexander's wife, and cancels their pact to avoid women, saying he will marry her in order to leave the people an heir. When she is reluctantly brought to him, holy cow, this marriage ceremony was massive.
Right.
What an amazing piece of cinematography and just filmmaking in general. But it was really creepy. She was drugged, clearly, as she's going up, and then you see a woman on the ground. Like, did you see that? And she's like twitching her legs, but you can't really see what's going on. She looks like she's squirming and she's been injured or something.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. I think that was a rewind section for me too, because I was kind of like, what is happening? I kind of thought, like, am I just tired? Am I hallucinating this? It was weird. It was very weird.
I'm gonna have to watch that again as well.
Yeah.
At this point, I was just kind of going with it.
Yeah.
But so she comes up and she's drugged. Clearly, it looks like she's drugged. Is that what you? I got that from it.
Yeah.
Is that what you got from it?
Absolutely.
Her eyes were like rolled back in her head.
Yeah, I thought she was like, she got poisoned or something. I was kind of like, what is happening?
And then Connery awkwardly tries to kiss her, and she bites him on the cheek. And that causes him to bleed, and the people realize that he is only human, not a god. And they start. Caine just runs over and grabs Connery. He's like, we got to get out of here now, dude.
Am I the only one in the background that's heard?
The James Bond
That's
theme.
all I heard. Like
the 007
The
theme.
007, yeah. That's all I heard.
Okay, you know what I heard? Okay, so they get out of there and the whole crowd starts following. So they run out and they turn a corner and then the whole crowd starts following them. And my brain is like, the next shot, bam! It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like and it just cuts to Connery and Caine just like hilariously outrunning a bunch of monks that just want their autograph, and like they're hiding behind newspapers and they're wearing fake mustaches, and out in the middle of the desert there's a photo booth and they're in it. Everyone runs by the photo booth. And that's where I wanted it to go.
Me too.
But yeah, the 007 theme is also a perfect fit. That the happiest piece of music in any James Bond movie. Oh God, I
Oh,
love that piece of music, but it's also so bad.
yeah, it's just so funny.
But it's also so good.
I always think of Diamonds Are Forever. That's like the last sequence when when they slam Blofeld against the side of the building and like they're on the they're still on the oil tanker.
The oil rig. No,
Oil
I think
rig.
the last sequence of it is the boat chase in Moonraker.
Is it?
I think it might be.
Man.
We'll have to go back through that.
A part of me wishes
I think-
they did it in No Time to Die because I thought about that too while watching it when they at the end when he's guy has his last 007 moment like going down the hallway. That would have been nice to put in the background.
All right. Well, I'm gonna edit that now.
Yes, please. I'll cry if I see it
Oh.
though because that sounds really good now. I'm thinking about it. But
And
anyways,
when the grenade goes off, the music kind of dips out and gradually fades back in as his hearing comes back. Dun, 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 dun. Wow.
it's actually playing over loudspeakers in the city.
Yeah, right. Yes, I'll EQ it so it's just coming over the speakers. And Q's listening to it on the plane. He's got his on his headphones.
Little earbuds.
Well, no, because he's wearing a headset to communicate.
Oh,
with
that's
them.
right. Yeah.
So I'll make it really tinny and tiny.
Oh, that's genius.
And also I'll edit the Casino Royale 1967 theme into the movie.
Yeah. I mean,
Into the 2006 one.
I mean, they already put so much other like nods to like other movies. They put like we have all time in the world. They put in
Right.
like, come on, give us the 007 theme as well. That's all I'm asking. But anyways,
This is a complete sidetrack, but I've been thinking about doing an edit of Spectre.
ooh,
Yeah.
other side track. I guess the last episode of 007 and Bond and Friends. I don't know if you listen to that
Yes,
podcast.
I liked that. That was interesting.
Yeah, wasn't that cool? Yeah, a little like
I
perspective.
wanted some of those ideas
Yeah,
to have happened.
yeah. It's
Like-
man, he should have.
Most of them were bad, but some of them were good.
Yeah, some of them were interesting. I was like, holy shit, that would have been what's
I
the
can't remember which
what's
ones.
the Earth 616 versus Spectre, man? I want to see that. But anyways,
Right. Okay, so we're they're chasing them out.
Right, the
to,
movie that we're actually doing the
to
show
a hard
about.
day's night. Connery's sitting there next to his grandfather. He's very clean. Have you ever seen A Hard Day's
I
Night?
haven't seen it in years, but I have.
Oh, I
before,
love
yeah.
that movie. Love that movie so much. All right, so they are hopelessly outnumbered and captured, and they make Dravet walk out onto the rope bridge that he he instructed them to build. And they, as Wikipedia describes it, he lustily sings the hymn, "The Son of God goes forth to war." And Carnahan is joining him. And it's a really nice singing, the two of them singing together, which is funny because the first time it's Connery singing by himself. Then the second time it's Connery singing and Caine going, "Shut up." First time Connery singing by himself, but Caine encouraging it because they're making money in the town square.
Mm.
The second time, Connery's singing and going, Caine's going, "Shut up." So both times, Caine ain't helping. The third time, Caine's like, "You're about to die. I'm gonna sing with you."
Yes. Character
And
building.
They start cutting the rope, and there are people on both sides of the bridge, so Connery can't exactly run away. Though I did really hope that he was going to take a trick from his cinematic son and wrap his leg in the rope bridge
Right.
and just hold on. Like, why didn't he hold on?
That's what I thought. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna actually kill him, or like, I'm like, he must be dead because at the beginning of the movie you only see Caine. So I'm like, oh, he's telling the story about how he died and all that. But I was like, well, it would have been a cool chance that like he like survived or something. But they just nope. He just went off and died.
Fell down a chasm. But
How do you think that stunt was done? Do you think they had like?
what? No, that was clearly a mannequin.
Do you think it was a mannequin?
My brain just kept saying mummy.
It was an actual mummy. They tossed him.
We found a mummy, a priceless mummy. Toss him off.
I really thought it.
No,
I thought it was a stunt double. I really thought it was a person.
No, it had to be a mannequin.
Really, I thought
It had to be.
I was like-
And it was shot from far enough away.
Well, just because like the way that he fell behind the rocks, I just thought, as a person who's studied film, which we went to school together for, there's of different shots.
And they taught us how to fall off rocks. And
They did. I fall off rocks all the time.
we had to practice jumping off the 4th floor.
That was our final project, was jumping off the
building.
The first one was jumping off the NEIT building. Then it was like the final project was an actual rope bridge and 2 rocks. But anyways,
Sorry, tying this together. Do you remember the person that we went to school with who really liked whips?
you mean
You don't have to say his name.
the one who looks a little bit like a certain musical artist from the mid 2000s?
Which musical artist?
Has the same name as it's a type of dog.
What?
Pitbull.
No, not him.
Not him.
No. We'll discuss this later.
Yes.
Anyway, we went to college with somebody who really liked bullwhips. Anyway.
Oh.
So it ties.
Okay.
Yeah. And like one of their projects was bringing in a video of them like bullwhipping out in the middle of nowhere.
I remember that.
I mean, not like my projects were any better, but
I mean, we all of our video projects were like something about like always like some kind of stalking or dead bodies.
yeah, I started my demo reel off with me in a bathrobe in a recliner reading corduroy upside down.
I think I have these
And I go,
videos
"Ha,
somewhere.
ha, ha, that bear.
I think I have some of those videos around somewhere. Maybe that'll be a Patreon exclusive one day. It's us sharing our old.
Release my demo reel
Yeah.
and your demo reel,
I have it somewhere.
which I'm sure have some crossover.
Oh yeah, for sure. But anyways,
All right, so he doesn't wrap his leg or his arm up in the rope bridge and thus falls to his death. And I feel like it was definitely a mannequin. I don't think they'd endanger somebody for that shot if they're not going to show it. You know what I mean?
I'll have to rewatch it because if it was a mannequin, it was a good mannequin. 'Cause I feel like the arm moved a bit. I don't know. I feel like
Well, I mean, you'd hope a mannequin's arm would. It's a locked in place.
yeah, I
mannequin.
want it to be like it
It's-
has its hands up like it's doing the Macarena, and it's clearly.
or it's the shape of like the men's bathroom logo, where it's just it is literally just the shape of a body with a round head, and it's like awkward. Its arms are just straight down. Its legs are just straight down, and it just falls, and it doesn't move at all as it falls.
It's that stock video of the red Chevy going off the cliff and bursting into flames. It's a shot from Dr. No when the Rolls Royce goes over the side and explodes on impact.
Right.
Just for some reason.
And that also the dummy was made of concrete, so it fell way too fast.
Video that shot again had the slow mo the footage.
Oh, it was made of newspaper. It blew away. All right, before we continue, I have to Sean Connery.
Oh, okay.
You want to take over from here?
Sure, why not?
Take over. So we're getting to the end. Connery fell down. Take it from there. I'll be right back.
So all right, so Connery has fallen. We think there's no way that I honestly thought that he was gonna survive, but like that was a twist at the end because we had Caine at the beginning, telling the story, and I thought that would be kind of a cool epilogue if they just had him kind of come back. Connery returns. I'm back. The bridge could not take me. I am now one with the bridge. He comes back as a rope bridge. And I named the bridge after him. You know what? Let's see if we can hear Dylan peeing.
All right, I'm back.
All right, there we go.
Do I need to do any editing, or we got good?
I
We got good content.
I would say cut it.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
'Cause I went on a roll, and then I was like, this would have been a better conversation if Dylan was still here. So I'll just wait for
Oh,
Dylan.
but now I gotta hear it, so I think I might leave it.
Oh, okay.
We'll decide. I'll listen to it. We'll decide.
All right.
All right. So, the body flutters down, falls down
Flutters.
the chasm. All right, and they establish that this is a deep chasm, as Michael Caine says, straight as a beggar can spit. I don't know if it's the same chasm, but so Carnahan is crucified between two pine trees. And upon being found still alive the next morning, they let him go. So he is crippled and crazy now, and makes his way back to India as a beggar. Finishing his story, he leaves Kipling's office after putting a bundle on the desk. When Kipling opens it, he finds Dravet's skull, still wearing a golden crown.
So, question:
Answer.
how'd he get the head?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. So he was crucified between two pine trees, and the makeup on his hand is pretty good when they show the holes in his hand.
Yeah.
Because obviously they couldn't do that, but it's decent makeup, and he angles his hands just right, so light doesn't need to shine through it, but you can tell that there's holes there in his hands. So he's been crucified for a night. He's got holes in his hands, and he climbs all the way down there and hacks the head off? Like, what?
A very long chasm, as we just discussed.
Straight as a beggar can spit.
I mean, however he got the head is the same way someone got Luke's lightsaber from the bottom of that long pit in Cloud City.
Not important.
You know what I mean? But it's just like... that's
whatever planet best been.
They should have just had Maz Kanata show up to India and say, a story for another time.
Right.
And that would have been fine.
That's the only moment that's the only moment of the film I would have been happy with being cut.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some of the translation stuff and some of the travelogue stuff goes on a bit much because it's getting it all on the screen. So,
Yeah.
I think a couple of minutes could have been cut here and there, but I think that ending could have been changed. It would have been more haunting if Caine just walked off and you saw what he had become.
Well, so I wonder if there was like some kind of reshoot or like a change in the script or something, because I feel like they were I want to see what the novel is like, because
yeah, I'm gonna check right now.
yeah, because I want to see if it ends like that, because I feel like if I was to like watch the beginning of that story, not watch the rest of the movie, and watch the end sequence like after the flashback, my assumption would be that he had to kill him. Like he had to kill his friend. Like that's
yeah. If you didn't get the backstory, yes, okay.
Like yeah, because you would think maybe like the story could have been like they were fighting to be king, and he was jealous that he became king or something like that. Like that would have made more sense for that. But it's like, what's the point? I don't remember him explaining why he has the head, but he just kind of has his head.
Yeah. So okay, I'm looking at the Wikipedia. Granted, okay, I know I'm going with Wikipedia, so take this all as a grain of salt. I actually want to read this because it looks like it's not too long of a story. Not that length will hold it against me. I'll see if I can find a audiobook of it. Anyway, so it restructured. The film has restructured things. So the film starts with Carnahan coming into the office as an old man, and then it cuts back to Carnahan and Dravet meeting Kipling.
Okay.
But in the book, he meets them first, and then and then they do the contract and all that stuff, and then it cuts to 2 years later, and Carnahan comes back and tells the story of what happened in those 2 years. So it's pretty much all from Kipling's perspective.
Okay.
So, cutting to the end. The army defected. Sorry. The army defected and the two kings were captured. Dravid, wearing his crown, stood on a rope bridge over a gorge while the Kafirs cut the ropes and he fell to his death. Carnahan was crucified between two pine trees, but when he survived his torture for a whole day, the Kafirs considered it a miracle and let him go. He then slowly begged his way back to India over the course of a year. As proof of his tale, Carnahan shows the narrator Dravid's severed head and golden crown before he leaves, taking the head and crown, which he swears never to sell, with him. The following day, the narrator sees Carnahan crawling along the road in the noon sun with his hat off. He has gone mad, so the narrator sends him to the local asylum. When he inquires 2 days later, he learns that Carnahan has died of sunstroke. No belongings were found with him.
Whoa.
So it all was for nothing. All of it.
That's kind of eerie.
Yeah. So it could have turned out better in two different ways if he had never broken his vow to like they could have just been celibate and run a country, or they could have gotten the hell out of there.
Wow.
So it's either go all in or cop out, and they went with neither, and they stuck around for too long and were exposed. It's a really good story.
It really
I really like it. I
is.
really want to read it.
Yeah, I want to see the comparison here for sure. It's so interesting.
Also, I really like the little joke that's repeated twice, that each tribe says that the neighboring tribe pisses on them as they trying to bathe in the river.
Yeah.
They're like, as we bathe in the river, they piss in it. And that they go to the next town, they're like, as we bathe in the river, they piss in it. That was good. I really like Uta, the mayor of the first town. I really like because he doesn't participate in the first battle. I really like his reaction shots. They just cut to him for like 15 seconds at a time. He's just like, ooh, oh, wow. And then I like how, he tries to pull rank and be like, I won this battle, and he tries to cut off a guy's head. And then it cuts to a scene later, and they're playing polo with Uta's head. That was good.
So good.
What other things did I write? Chimes. There's a lot of chimes in this movie.
Yeah.
The Holy Grail room. Connery in a Holy Grail room.
Yeah.
Which he would be back in 14 years later. Does he go into the Holy Grail room? In Last Crusade?
No, only Indy goes, but because you get that scene.
He's shot. Yeah, he's been injured.
Yeah, and you get that scene of Indy holding it, and you get that classic scene like, "Let it go, Sean," and he has to let go of the Grail to like have his father pull him in.
Yes.
So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
that's. I can't wait to see that one again.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes.
Oh, and good stuff. I was about to say, I'm really excited to spin the wheel again, but it's not time yet. It's not time
Almost.
Almost. So what other notes do you have about this film?
Awesome.
I feel like I've been talking the whole time, but it's maybe just because it's so fresh.
Yeah, I would say, you basically covered a lot of what I wanted to talk about here. So I think, all in all, so good. And again, I would love to see them together again. And I think this era might be the most fun Connery era. Like, obviously the Bond stuff is great, but man, this is so interesting again to see how different of a man he was just some years after being Bond.
Well, I got some sad news for you, friend.
What's that?
Then that's the only movie they're in together.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Which is odd because they seem like at this time they're kind of like the European royalty for actors this time. I feel like they would be in everything together.
Wait a second.
Uh-oh. Breaking news.
Wait. Nope. A bridge too far.
That's right.
They're in a bridge too far.
That's right. Ooh, so we might get it again. What year is that?
77, so 2 years later.
It's gonna be so fun.
Hold on. Man Who Would Be King. A Bridge Too Far. Requiem for a Heavyweight. What is that? Again, riveting stuff. Anthony Quinn, Jackie Gleason, Mickey Rooney. None of this is. It's not. Michael Caine's not in this at all. What? Anyway, why is that? Why did that come up? Anyway, all right. So yeah, that and A Bridge Too Far. I wonder if they interact together in A Bridge Too Far. But also, that movie seems like it's gonna be dark.
Oh yeah. But
What are you browsing?
I'm actually I was trying to look at like stuff with them together, but it's funny. I actually found a great photo of. Hey, I'll share it with you.
Yes, too.
So I know the viewers can't see this, but look how phenomenal this shot is. I would like of I don't know what year this is, but look at the big
Look at
the
that.
big three here of Roger Moore, Connery,
Yeah.
and Michael Caine.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So
Oh, what's that picture with him? Oh, yeah, that's just a shot from the film.
oh yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's a good picture.
yeah. This
I wonder if that was at the that's later. That's in the 80s.
yeah, that looks like some years after, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just like I was looking at some images from the movie and stuff, and just phenomenal, so much fun.
Yeah. Connery looks great in this movie. He's very handsome.
Yeah, really, he does look great.
And yeah, that's that. So that thumbnail there, that from the scene in the office, is where the guy, the head of the Northern Star paper, is basically saying, "Why, I'm not charging you, but give me a reason why I shouldn't charge you." And they're just all sass. I love it, and they're so coordinated and tight. They're like their dialogue is just so tight and witty and lightning fast, but not in a way that is unbelievable.
Yeah, it didn't feel like we had the funny in this, but like it was not like super camp. It was just like a ton of fun, and like again, their performance was amazing, and I would like hope to see them again in some of these movies, like this Bridge Too Far. I like to see that performance.
I'm excited for
Like,
A Bridge Too Far because I've owned that movie for years. Oh, I looked at the same screen you were looking at. The Man Who Would Be King original motion picture soundtrack by Maurice Jarre, which actually I really like the soundtrack, so I'm gonna have to listen to it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Maybe we should do a separate episode about soundtracks or something, or maybe like comment on the soundtracks in some way. I really liked this soundtrack. It was subtle, but also really weird because, like I said, jolly battle music.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that just goes with the time, I guess, of, that's how it was. Yes.
Wafting pussy.
I knew there were lyrics. But yeah.
That's we put that music as she's wafting the dress.
So yeah, man. So I think to kind of wrap it up, what do you rate this? Because like
so yeah, what do we want to do our ratings out of?
Let's see. I thought we could be cute and do like 1 out of 007, but that's been done.
But that's been done. Yeah.
I would think just a normal 1 through 10.
Yeah, let's do 10.
Because let me see real quick. I just had it up earlier, and we were discussing before we started recording. But so we're not the only ones that really like this film. Rotten Tomatoes, as all the kids check out these days with their Marvel movies and whatnot, tomato meter at 97% and audience score at 90%. So this is a movie that is loved for sure.
Indeed.
Very great reviews all around.
And right now, I'm making 2 more columns in our Connery Curious Google Sheets here, a Google document. And I made a Mario rating and a Dylan rating. So I'm going to go to Man Who Would Be King here, and I'm going to put our ratings in here so we can track them.
Okay.
So, do you know what you're going to give it?
I'm between 2 numbers, but how about you go first?
I'm going to give this an 8.
I was leading.
No, you know what? 8.5. I'm going 8.5. 8.5.
I might agree with you actually, because I was kind of I think I was a 9 yesterday, and just kind of marinating on it, I kind of went down to an 8. Not that it's a bad film, but I was just like, this is great, but like, yeah, I saw myself kind of drifting in the middle, but then picking up because again, like you're kind of so confused about like, oh wow, these time jumps are crazy and all that. So I think I can sit in the middle though with 8.5 as well. So
Those time jumps didn't really bring anything down for me. It was just confusing at
That's
first.
what-
But
that's what it is for
once you
me.
latched into it,
because like again, you look down for a second, you look up, you're 4 months down.
right?
I'm like, wait, hold on, like, because like I remember thinking the first time when Michael Caine's getting ready to leave, I'm like, wait, I thought they had to be there for 4 months, and I'm like, oh wait, they must have time jumped again, and that's where I was like, that's where it kind of like gets me, 'cause, yeah, maybe we're spoiled, nowadays we have like big, bold letters, 4 years later.
And maybe stuff was cut out. We don't know how much longer this film could have been. I don't know if your rental had bonus features, but my DVD came with nothing. Actually, there was literally no menu on my DVD.
Really?
You popped it in and it started like a VHS tape.
Wow.
And when it was
Old school.
over, it just went back to the PlayStation home screen.
Wow,
Like
that's crazy.
it didn't even register that there was anything more.
Well, be sure to rewind it before you return it.
Exactly. I did. I made sure I did. So we're locking it in.
So yeah,
We're locking it in at 8.5 each. Yes.
I think so. Man Who Would Be King, 9.5, 8.5.
9.5?
8.5.
8.5.
Oh my goodness, 8.5.
Wait, are you giving it a 9.5?
No, 8.5.
Are you giving it a
I-
9? Are you going back
I
up?
misspoke.
Misspook? All right, I'm going with 85. Or 85? Whoopsie. I'm going with 8.5.
Beautiful.
What kind of chair do you have there?
That's a Secret Labs chair.
Secret Lab. Mine is Emerge.
Oh,
Anyway, we're not sponsored yet.
not yet.
So yeah, we're locking it in. We each gave The Man Who Would Be King from 1975. We each gave it an 8.5 out of 10. It's pretty damn
I think
good.
that's damn good. That's a great start for the first film on Connery Curious. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm glad we
Yeah,
started with
come-
this because this is one of the films like out of it's like 4 films, like maybe more than 4 that I'm like really excited to watch, and this was one of them. So I'm really
This
excited.
was a great first start.
Yeah.
We got Connery being enthusiastic, full of energy. He's so energetic in this film,
Very.
which honestly, upon reflection, we haven't really talked that much about him in this film. Like we've been talking about the film as a whole, but like he is charisma city in the first hour and a half of this film.
Yeah, no, I think
He is on the ball.
I think we definitely gave him his flowers earlier, just talking about that transition from Bond to now and how he, I like I said before, I think he really has kind of found himself as an actor here because like yeah, we do have a few films that are pre-Bond, but probably weren't as big. And then when you're on top of the world, James Bond, where do you go? I feel like I'm sure all the Bond actors felt that. Like I wonder if especially Timothy Dalton only got like 2. I wonder if he thought like, oh, where do I go next? I'm just gonna be known as James Bond. And
But I think all besides Lazenby, all of the actors went on to roles of substance.
right.
And I think everyone was lucky, especially Brosnan, who got let down in his Bond films. I feel like everything else he was given really let him shine.
Yeah, like he's a superhero now, and like that's like
Yeah.
it was great. But
I haven't seen that yet.
yeah,
I probably won't.
I would at least rent it when it comes to home video. I would give it a shot. I think Pierce is my favorite part of that movie, for
Okay.
obvious reasons.
Alright.
But I think he really is.
Yeah.
he was a good Dr. Fate for sure.
I'll wait till it's on HBO.
Yes, soon probably. But yeah, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for this film. So I guess do we go to the Wheel of Curiosities?
Before we do that, I actually just had another idea.
Ooh, go on.
So we just gave the film an 8.5 out of 10.
Yes.
But we just ranked the film. Do we want to give Connery's performance a rating?
Ooh, sure.
And we'll do that for each film too.
Sure.
Yeah, and like we can base it on like how present he is and how much he's giving it his all, and how much he wants to be there.
Well, in that case, I think I might give it I might go for a 10. I think this was a great Connery. I think this was great. Like, again, like reiterating, I'm repeating myself, but like, I always knew Connery as James Bond, and it's like seeing him in a different light in this film really really intrigues me and really makes me happy. So I think he was phenomenal in this film.
So you're giving him a 10?
I think I'm going to give him a 10.
All right, I'm going to give him a 9.5.
Ooh, okay.
Full of energy, but I think towards the end of the film, maybe it was when stuff starts going to his head and he's determined to marry. I think maybe it fell off a little bit for me there, but not that he wasn't giving it his all. It just maybe I wasn't enjoying it as much of his performance. But then as soon as she bites him and he goes full on into attack mode, then it's back.
I just thought it was. I thought it just really showcased a bit of his range in a way, where it's just like, like, wow, he can really get a little nuts.
He's snarky in this movie,
yeah,
for sure. Sean Snarkery.
Sean Snarkery, yes.
Snarkery. So I've got a column now: Mario film rating and Dylan film rating, and then Mario Sean rating and Dylan Sean rating.
Yes.
So
I like that.
I'm sure we'll come up with better names for those for sure, but I'm giving him a 9.5 in this 8.5 movie.
Okay.
I liked it 8.5. I liked him 9.5.
Okay.
And one day that'll mean something, kids. So yeah, I think that might be a good way to do it. We rank the movie and we rank how much we liked his performance.
I think very good. Yeah, because I'm like, again, curious to see. I hope he's like this in like a good percentage of his movies. But I'm sure like there's going to be a few stinkers in there somewhere. I'm sure, but I'm still there for it.
And maybe by having this double rating, who knows what we're going to get? Because we could have like a 2-star movie.
And a 5-star Connery.
And a 10-star Connery, like, oh my God, this movie's terrible, but he's so good in it. Or this movie's fantastic and Connery does not give a shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm excited to see where these numbers are going to go.
Yeah, me too. And we'll reflect.
This is a good movie with a great Connery.
Absolutely.
A great movie with a great Connery.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm bringing my rating to a 9 for the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm bringing mine up because it's really good. I'm thinking about Caine at the beginning is terrifying.
Yeah.
As the gnarled beggar, and just so good with the stealing of the pocket watch sequence. What was your favorite scene?
I think, probably it's probably that cigar lighting scene.
So the writing of the contract.
I think the contract side and them coming into the office. Like I'm actually looking at like a black and white photo of like it looks like it's on set of them lighting the cigars. I kind of want as a print and like put in my office because I'm like this is like so. I kind of want to buy a poster. I usually buy posters for movies I really enjoy. You see my Thunderball poster.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back. I just love the Thunderball poster because this looks cool.
Vampire Strikes Back.
Yes. Oh wait a minute. This is not the right poster.
I am your father. You had 2 hands, but now you have 1.
You're going to freeze your tons off. Then I will see you in hell.
Sucks. What would you say?
I will see you in hell then. And it's vampire tauntaun.
And I thought they smelled bad on the outside. Oh, they smell like garlic. Get away. The Vampire Strikes Back.
But I would absolutely buy a poster for this movie. But I guess
yeah, Sam. especially this cover art here.
Yeah, that's
I really
the classic.
Like this painted art where their heads are together. Though I will say, Michael Caine's face. Both of their faces actually are painted a little strangely, but Caine's face looks like it's being wrinkled crazily. Like here, I'll hold it up for you.
Yeah, he looks like
it looks like Gene Wilder as Wonka.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And like and another thing, just cool to see because like to me, Michael Caine, I always envision him like the years of him, as Alfred, or like in like the Kingsman and stuff like that. So
Or as Alf the alien.
or
Or Alfie, right? Wasn't he Alfie?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you're not far off. But yeah, it's just interesting to see these actors at a younger age. I mean, more Michael Caine because we see Connery young all the time in Bond. But yeah, it's just so cool to see just the history being made here, man. It was really fun.
Yeah, and it's good to see two friends act together and have a blast doing it.
Yeah, like they imagine like they're like the English like version of like what do you call it?
Bob and
Like
David.
Bob and David of Lethal Weapon. It was like Lethal Weapon,
Yes,
you know?
it was kind of well, no, because they're the same age. It was like a buddy. It was a
Like Hobbs and Shaw if it was like made.
yeah. It was kind of like that. It was like a buddy cop comedy movie, but they got along perfectly.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's like because the buddy cop setup is like they don't get along, and then they learn to get along. And this is like two buddies that get along and are driven apart.
Yeah.
This was a really good time.
It's a-
You'd watch it again?
Absolutely. It's a good like friend movie. It's something to watch with with a
Yeah.
buddy of yours, you know what I mean? Like I'm glad we got to watch this. So it's like really really cool. I think this might be an annual thing. Maybe we revisit this movie like every couple of years or something. Be like, "Hey, want to rewatch fucking Man Who Would Be King?" And like, "Fuck yeah, I would absolutely watch this."
Yeah. Now, I just thought of another thing. Because if you look at the main listed cast, all we have is Shakira Caine. We got five in the starring roles, and only one woman, Shakira Caine. Now, I think maybe another thing we should do is we decide, given Connery was known for his stances on things, maybe do we want to make a segment where we decide, is this film good to women? and thus, would a woman want to watch it?
Well, I'll tell you, probably not, because my fiance had
no on this
my
one.
fiance had no interest in watching this, just because I feel like, well, Alicia has a funny stance with Bond because every time I've tried, she loves the Craig films, loves them, but every time I tried to show her a Connery one, it was always kind of the wrong one to show her. The first one I showed her was Goldfinger, and the opening sing is like, thanks for my Felix, and man talk.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, I hate this.
Smacks her on the butt.
And then I'm like, a few months later, hey, let's try Connery again. I'll do a good one this time, I promise.
Thunderball?
Nope. You only live twice.
Oh, God.
Which, basically the same.
A good one, I promise, he says.
And and I pick the one, and literally at the same time stamp as Goldfinger, when you get what it's like, why do Chinese girls taste different than other girls?
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Yep, I'm out."
Not better, just different.
So Third Strike was my last chance. I gave her Casino Royale, and then she's like, "I want to see Quantum. I want to see Skyfall. I want to see Spectre." And she wanted to go see No Time to Die with me. She was my second viewing after I saw it with you. She was my second viewing for No Time to Die, and she freaking cried like a baby, and she loved it. But so yeah, so Connery films are a little tough.
Casino is definitely a good one for the ladies to watch because there's a lot of lady pleasing in that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Both in terms of him and him pleasing the ladies.
Exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure, like when he's like. I think they were going to start the scene of him with Demetrius' wife. He was going down on her.
Yeah, that was
but they changed it.
That was the original.
Anyway,
cut.
I don't mean to sound pervy, and also, I didn't mean to sound like I'm reducing our audience in the sense of like ladies can't watch this. I think anybody could enjoy this film. This film could be enjoyed by anybody.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah,
I think if I showed this to Nicole, she would enjoy it, or my sister, she would enjoy it, or any woman I know. I think they would enjoy this film because it's a good time. But the film itself maybe doesn't treat women with the most respect.
Right.
Both because it's a film from 1975 and because it's a film taking place in 1885.
Yeah, and kind of weird to a certain culture too. So it's like
yes, very weird to different cultures. Though I find that John Huston's filmography, Houston, however, his filmmaking is very, very respectful to the cultures, incredibly respectful. Most of the B-roll footage is just drinking in the local culture and experiencing it. That opening sequence of this film, I'm sorry, I know we already wrapped it up and rated it, but the opening sequence of this film was mind-blowing. Just the different shots of people doing things in the city, and the ones that really got me was the guy that had the scorpions on his face, and then he opens his mouth and he puts the scorpions in his mouth.
The kid
and
made
just holds the kid holding.
He made
the
me
snakes,
laugh. He's just staring at the snakes,
and the snakes are just staring back, not moving.
Oh man.
But you can tell that they're alive. You can tell all of this is real.
I was hoping the snake charmer would play the Bond theme.
Right, that was great.
Anyway,
so you've playing with your rasp. What's the line there? Is that what it is?
What is it?
Playing with your rasp.
You haven't seen
something like
we'll
that.
Get we're gonna get to it. It's like an early thing. But Diamonds Forever. The one line that makes me laugh in that movie. It's a small line. Is go blow up your pants.
Oh yeah.
That always kills
Blow
me.
up your pants.
It's like
lay off that tutor, Charlie. You're gonna get a shot in the mouth.
So American. Anyways,
Klaus Hergesheimer, G-section. We're gonna have such a fun time talking about.
I can't wait to. Fingers crossed, that Diamonds is an early film because I'm excited to see that again.
And another thing before we spin, on my desk here in front of me, I have the receipt from the library that I picked up today. Also, you saved $158.31 by using your local library. I like that my library does this, though it wastes the paper. So what I have out right now: Zardoz, Sword of the Valiant, Anna Karenina, The Molly Maguires, The Great Train Robbery, The Russia House, Robin and Marion, Finding Forrester, Shalako, The Hill, The Red Tent, and The Longest Day.
Wow.
So that's what I have out from the library right now. Anyway, and I think I'm good to spin the wheel. You good to spin the wheel?
I'm ready to spin this, man.
So I spun the wheel last time. You want to spin it this time?
Sure. Let me pull it back up again. Let's see. Ooh, this exciting. I love wheels.
Me too, man. Can you share your screen with me?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna get this out first. Boom, boom, boom. Bum, bum, bum.
And when it selects the movie, make sure you hit remove so it removes it from the wheel for next time.
Oh yes. All right. Hopefully you can see it clearly here.
Yes. Hold on 1 second. It's gonna full screen. Okay. It's funny. I'm getting it like glitchy. Is it glitching on your screen?
Yeah, it's kind of moving a little slow. Maybe if I close a couple of windows here. There we go. Yeah.
All right.
But it'll be all right. All right. So you're ready to spin the wheel of curiosities?
Yes, but before you do, turn your speakers up so the microphone catches this audio that comes out.
Oh, here, I'll just turn on the desktop audio. All right, ready?
Yep.
And here.
I'm so excited.
Here we
go. Oh, here we go.
And here we go. First night.
You were all excited about this one. You got me all excited about this one.
Let's go. Wow. For two good and two different, totally different eras too. So this is going to be really exciting.
So let's do it. Let's learn a little bit about First Night here.
We got to see him in a more of a almost Game of Thrones kind of thing. King Arthur, very exciting.
First Night, 1995's First Night, a medieval film based on Arthurian legend, directed by Jerry Zucker of Airplane and Naked Gun fame, starring Sean Connery as King Arthur, Richard Gere as Lancelot, Julia Ormond as Guinevere, and Ben Cross as Malagant. Anyway.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, man,
I'm excited for this.
I might rewatch this when I rewatch it. I'll probably watch my mom because she got me into this movie, so that might be interesting to be
You'll
like.
watch your mom watch the movie.
I'm gonna watch a mom watch a movie, not my mom. But yeah, she got me into this, and including. And I think I told her about episode 0. She got me into Bond as well. So yeah, this is really exciting. I haven't seen this since Actually, I saw it in college the last time I saw it, probably. So
I'm excited for
so
this.
yeah, wow, this is a great start here. Great start. I am excited.
Did you remove it from the list?
I
then?
did.
Awesome.
Should be removed.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. I'm really excited.
All right. Well, I guess that's gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
for
I
us.
guess so. We'll have another episode for you in a week's time.
Yep. So for our listeners there, if you guys want to watch along at the home, yeah, just go rent
At the home.
at
the one home.
at the one.
Everyone's gonna meet there.
everybody
Not your home.
the Connery Hall. It's where all the Connery
Yes.
fans meet to watch Connery movies. That could be fun, dude. I would love to do like a live in person show and like have a viewing of the movie. Then we do this show like live right after.
Yeah,
That'd be
would
so much fun.
Maybe once we build up a good following.
Yeah. So if you guys want to see that in the future, be sure to share with your friends, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and yeah.
And send me lots of money.
Send me all the things, yes. And we're still in the...
Was that Trump?
It could be. Only the finest of Connery films.
Bond, James Bond.
Excuse me. I'm watching a Bond
He
film.
was on his way to a funeral.
I wonder what Bond movie Trump likes. But anyways, we don't talk politics here.
Die Another Day is my favorite. I love it. It's the best.
Invisible Car, unbelievable.
Which? Oh no! What's that one where he takes a lesbian and wrestles her till she's straight? Goldfinger, yes, because I love gold. Oh yes, that's one. Yes,
He kind of is.
the man with the
He kind of is a gold.
Goldfinger, golden eye, golden shower. The man with the golden shower.
That should be the next Bond film, The Man with a Golden Shower. Anyways.
Oh, I've already made that. I privately produced it. I hired Daniel Pegleg
Daniel Pegg.
and
So Daniel Pegg, yeah, Simon Pegg's brother. But anyways, I think that's gonna do it. So yeah, so this is a great ending, Dylan. Great.
oh, thank you. It's the best ending. The best ending. I do a terrible, the worst Trump impression.
You're kind of turning into a Mayor Quimby a little bit there.
I doing the worst Trump impression I've ever done. What's the deal with that freaking Peter Griffin? Alrighty. Well, this is not where I intended any of this to go.
Hey.
But this has been an absolute blast chatting with you, my friend. And this
Absolute.
movie was a great time.
Uh,
And I would definitely watch it again.
Same here. So I guess tune in next week, Curious Cats. We need like an audience name.
Yeah, we need I like Curious Cats. That's good.
Curious Cats.
Because Curious Cats. Then today we're watching 2019's Cats by Toby Hooper. I was
Yes.
dead at this point.
Yeah, the CCC, the Curious Connery Club. I don't know.
I like Curious Cats.
The Curious Cats. Well, you guys let us know in your reviews.
Connerinas.
Like we'll hopefully have social media set up by then, so we'll send you somewhere to get us here.
To contribute our names.
Yeah, so we'll
Contribute names to this thing.
contribute names.
Connerians.
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 I said Connerians like tangerine, but Connerian. I like Connerian.
Connerian
Like Korean. Connerian.
Conrites.
No, from North Conneria.
Conneria. I had to go to the bathroom. I have Conneria. Anyways, but so yeah, we'll.
Sorry, I thought I heard somebody.
Someone was outside my room having Conneria.
Conneria.
Here we go.
Here I go again.
My.
Anyway.
That's a good way to sign off. Anyways,
All right. Yes, we will sign off now. And
with Connery Curious, I've been Mario Lima.
Well, do we want to give our info as to where we can be found until such time as we have a recorded ending?
Maybe by the time this is out, we'll like have a pre-recorded thing at the end of the podcast.
Okay.
So,
Well, if we don't, we can be found on the social medias. I'm Dylan Titus.
and I'm Mario Lima.
And this has been Stay Curious.
Stay curious.
This has been Connery Curious, folks. Stay curious.
Yes.
Stay curious out there.
Yes.
Connery Curious.
You've been listening to Connery Curious, a Titus Compositions and Friggin' Nerds media production. For more content, be sure to follow us on various forms of social media by searching Connery Curious. Be sure to rate and review the show wherever fine podcasts are downloaded.